everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today we have another tutorial. It's obviously on the look I'm wearing right now. I had no idea where I was going to go with this, so it was truly me sitting at my vanity, my desk, and kind of just pulling out things to see what works and creating a new look. And I was a little chatty too, so this might be a little bit longer than usual. I will have to see how much I can trim down during the editing process. But if you want to see how I created this look, then just keep watching. I don't actually have a plan of how I'm going to do my makeup today, so this shall be fun. But I am inspired by yellow, mustard, terracotta color. So things like this terracotta shade from the Lorac Pro 3 palette, this yellow shade from Makeup Geek, this is Lemon Drop, this baby poo kind of color from the Kathleen Lights Morphe palette. We're just gonna do it and kind of play with makeup. That's really what it is. I don't always want my tutorials to be so overly planned. I think a trial and error situation is kind of fun as well, going in with MAC Paint Pot, by the way. So play with makeup. Sometimes you may hate a look you create. Sometimes you may love the look you create. It's kind of like cooking. Does anyone cook at home and maybe pull together something, not follow a recipe, and ends up being the best meal they've ever made? But when they follow a recipe, you know, it's kind of like, it's okay, but I don't know. I sometimes like to do that. I just like to throw some things together, and I think I do my makeup that way. I'm just gonna go with a large fluffy brush, and let me just grab canvas from the Lorac palette, and we'll just set that. It doesn't matter what look I'm doing. If I'm applying eyeshadow to my lids and it's going to be a powder eyeshadow, I'll always do this step. Always set whatever primer, paint pot that you're using. Oh, you know what? I was going to use a different base. See, this is what happens. I get stuck in my old ways. I was going to use the Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, but whatever. We're already here, so let's continue. So first things first, I think I'd want to just start with my transition because I have slightly hooded eyes. I need a little bit of that color, so I'm going to grab Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek. It's just a few tones darker than my natural skin tone. And I'm just keeping my fluffy brush because I don't really care too much where it is. I just want to kind of just fluff it into the crease. So it's okay if it goes on a little bit above my crease, just because I just need that little bit of definition. There we go. Okay, let's just go to town right now and let's just start throwing color on. Let's do Lemon Drop. I'm just gonna put Lemon Drop all over my lid. Again, this is a Makeup Geek eyeshadow. I've had this color for so long, and I've only used it probably once in a tutorial way back in the day. So I'm just gonna put this all over the lid. This has a sheen to it. It's not a matte eyeshadow. So I'm not really even being very precise with it. I'm just kind of putting it all over the lid. I think navy would be a pretty color to tie in with yellow. I don't know why. Navy and yellow look so pretty together. Hopefully I don't look like I have jaundice after I'm done. But let's go ahead and grab Terracotta. This color right here. Going in with the same brush. And I'm just gonna start deepening up the outer corner a little bit. This may not even show up very well. Now let's go ahead and I'm gonna grab that baby poo kind of shade here in the Morphe Kathleen Lights palette. And this one should be a little bit darker in contrast. So again, we're just building this up. I think I'm just going to keep it pretty classic as far as placement and just do that gradient effect. I think I'm going to bring in a warm chocolate brown, something like Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek. We'll start to warm that outer corner up. I'm not too concerned about going crazy and making this all neat just because we can wipe that away. Another benefit of doing your eyes first before you go on your base. I am going to go back in with that very large fluffy brush and just going in with the Canvas shade in the Lorac palette. And I'm just going to take this on the top to make sure that those edges are blended. I'm just going to grab a makeup wipe, just using some cheap e.l.f. makeup wipes that I always keep on hand. You can just use some micellar water. I don't have that down here with me. It's in my bathroom. So I'm just going to take that and clean up the edge a little bit here. Then what I'm going to do is just get that very large fluffy brush and kind of just blend that harsh line away. Things will look a little better once we have our foundation on and concealer, but I just don't want that very straight line from the wipe. So for the eyeshadow, I think I'm done. I like how this looks. I am going to just do a pop of a different color. I mentioned navy, and I think I want to include that somehow in here. So first off, let me just grab my NYX Tres Jolie in brown, and let me just tight line so we'll be all ready for mascara. Now I'm going to grab the Pixi Endless Silky Eye Pen. This is in Cobalt. Is it Cobalt Blue? Yeah. This one's very bright. I'm not going to go in right with the pencil because this is a very soft, creamy formula. So what I'm going to do is just load up my little brush here, and I'm going to apply this with a brush as opposed to using the pencil, so I have a little bit more control. Put that. So I have the liner on, and then I'm going to grab the Lorac Pro 2 palette, and this palette actually contains a navy. And I'm going to kind of buff this out with that liner. Okay, I'm all smudgy, and I do want to make kind of like a little kitten flick on the end here, so I'm going to go in with dark brown. Where is it? Right here in the Lorac Pro 3 palette. And I'm just gonna take that on the end. I'm not really gonna create a wing. I just want it to look like, there we go, the bottom's extended a little bit in a very soft way. For mascara, I think I'm going to go with the Tarte Tartiest Lash Paint. I wasn't happy with the volume that the Tarte mascara gave, so I did top off with the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot because I just need a little more for my lashes. Now it's the time for the base products. I'm in desperate need of covering this redness, so let's go ahead with the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer, my favorite. I'm going to do a little color correcting today around my nose. I'm using this L'Oreal Infallible, what is this called? Pro Color Correcting, I guess, palette. I'm grabbing the green shade, and I'm just going to press this into the skin. For foundation today, I'm going to grab two. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This is in the shade 120 Classic Ivory, and it's just a touch too dark right now for my pasty skin. So I'm using the Sonia Kashuk Soft Focus Satin Matte foundation in the shade 02 Vanilla to just lighten it a touch. I'm just mixing that up on my palette with my finger. So I'm just, whatever's on my finger, I'm gonna kind of dab it all over the face. And I'm going to blend that with a sponge that's dampened. It's the L'Oreal sponge, if you're wondering. It's so good. Okay, I think that's pretty good coverage. The rest we'll use concealer to kind of correct any other pigmentation. So I've been really enjoying this L'Oreal Visibly Lift Concealer. I've had this for a long time. I mean, not long enough to be expired, but I'm trying to go through what's in my drawers, And this one has been really good, I have to say. If you haven't tried it, definitely give it a whirl. You get so much product, and I'm in the shade 301 Fair. I'm gonna just kind of put this on with my finger. I'm not blending it completely, but I'm just applying a thin layer. And then I'll blend that out completely with a sponge. I'm going to use my MAC Mineralize Skin Finish in the shade Medium. I've just been falling back in love with this product. So I'm getting a very large brush when I'm first patting, so I don't move any of that foundation or concealer. And then once I've patted that in, I'm just doing very gentle circular motions. For the under eyes, I'm going to use a sponge to apply the powder. Before I go any further with the rest of the base products, I want to use a setting spray and kind of sandwich things together before I do the bronzer, blush, highlighter. So I'm just grabbing the Wet n Wild setting spray. Just allow that to completely dry before you go in with anything else. So just if you have to fan yourself, whatever you have to do, just let that dry. I'm completely dry now and I'm ready to go in. Let's start off with the bronzer. Can you guess what I'm going to use? Yes, it is the L'Oreal Glam Bronzer in Light. I love this thing. Sorry, I'm blinding you a little bit. If you could see, there's a little bit of pan poking through. How depressing. I never thought I was going to get through this thing, but I fell in love with it. So I'm going to lightly almost sculpt at the same time, because this is more of a neutral, cooler tone bronzer. So let's go ahead and grab another oldie. It's the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Soft and Gentle Highlighter. Cult favorite. It does have some glitter in it, but for me, it doesn't bother me. I don't know. I think if you have a lot of texture, you might not like that. So for blush, I think I'm going to keep it pretty neutral, a little bit pinky. I'm going in with the Amazonian Clay blush in Paaarty. I think this will look nice. Just a little flush of color. I don't want to go too crazy. I'm going to keep it a little higher. And then whatever's left, apples. Now it's time for brows. Let's brush these. I'm going to use the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in Blonde. I have my brush here somewhere. Okay, so I filled in with the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. I like to also go on top with some sort of brow gel, mascara, what have you. This one is the Brow Stylist Plumper, and it is in the shade Light to Medium. I've loved this for years. I'm actually just changing the color. Than I used to use more the medium brown one, but I like using this darker shade. I'm sorry, I like using this lighter shade. Lord, my brain. I also like the effect if you have a lot darker brows, using a deep brow pencil or pomade and then going on the brows with a lighter brow gel or, brow tint. I think it just adds a little dimension because, hair can be different colors. It's not always a flat band, so I kind of like that. So I've decided to keep it light. I am going to line my lips and kind of cheat the shape just a bit with my Milani lip liner, the color Statement in All Natural, and then I want to go on top with Skimpy, which is a lippy stick from ColourPop. Now I have the shape of the lips, and now let's go in with Skimpy. This is very light. I'm going to work this in with a lip brush. I feel like the lip is missing something, and I don't know if it's just too pink, too peach, but I'm going to be really picky right now, and I'm going to go in with another ColourPop lippy stick. This is in Cookie, which is more of a brown shade, and and this is actually a matte formula. I think that's a little better. It's just, it wasn't the right tone. I like that a little bit better as well. And now let's go ahead and do our little sandwich and spray our face again with the setting spray. And that is it. I love how this turned out. I don't know what's happening with my hair today, but I'm trying something different here. I don't know. I'm not quite sure if this is working, but I feel like my hair is getting long in certain areas and I might need a haircut soon, but either way, that is the look for today. I'm pleased with how it came out. It's so much fun just to sit here and play with makeup and film, you know? I think it is truly what most makeup lovers do, just kind of play with color and see how it turns out. Definitely give the video a big thumbs up if you liked this style of video and a little bit chatty. I think I kind of rambled on a little bit here and there, but let me know in the comments below if you enjoy it. I always love hearing from you. And also, if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed yet, you know where that button lives. And also, don't forget to hit that little notification bell. That will notify you when I upload my next video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!